The question is 1/2 cubed plus 2 1/4 minus 5 times 1/10 plus 2/5. The instructions tell us to simplify. So what we're going to be working with here today is basically PEMDAS. And PEMDAS is the order in which we want to solve this. Not really solving because it's not quite an equation, but we are going to simplify it. This is an order of operations, and PEMDAS is parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction. And that is the order that we are going to want to attack. Okay, so let's start with parentheses. We're going to call this first portion, the 1/2 cubed, an exponent because it is raised to the third power. So we'll start with what's inside of our parentheses. So we'll go ahead and keep our 1/2 cubed. We'll keep our 2 1/4. And now we have 1/10 plus 2/5 inside of parentheses. We're going to want to add those two guys together and then multiply it by the 5 eventually. But first, in order to add them together, we do have to come up with a common denominator. So we're going to leave 1/10 the way it is, and 2/5. In order to get a common denominator, we need to multiply the denominator by 2. But whatever we do to the denominator, we must do to the numerator. So we're going to go ahead and multiply 2/5 by 2/2. That leaves us with 1/2 cubed plus 2 1/4 minus 5. Now we have 1/10 plus 5 times 2 is 10, and 2 times 2 is 4. Okay, we still have 1/2 cubed plus 2 1/4 minus 5 times, our common denominator is 10, and 1 plus 4 is 5. Okay, we're still working with what's inside the parentheses, and what I'm going to do here is reduce this. 5/10 reduces or simplifies to 1/2. So we have minus 5 times 1/2. All right, so we're still taking care of our parentheses. This is now a multiplication problem. We can write it in parentheses, or we can write it, multiply by. So we're kind of done with parentheses. Let's go ahead and work on our exponents now. Remember that 1/2 cubed, whenever we're raising a fraction to an exponent, we have to raise the numerator and we also raise the denominator. So 3 cubed is 1, and 2 cubed is 8. 2 times 2 is 4 times 2 is 8. Now at this point, and at any point we could have done this, but we'll do it now, we're going to change this mixed number into an improper fraction. So 2 times 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9, and now we have 9/4. And now I'm going to just go ahead and add this into our step here. We're just going to move right on to multiplication. Negative 5 times 1/2 is negative 5/2. And we know that because we can do 5/1 times 1/2. That's a negative 5. 5 times 1 is negative 5, and 1 times 2 is 2. Okay, so we've made it down to addition and subtraction. We didn't have any division in this case, so we get to skip the D. So we're now down to addition and subtraction. And once we're down to that part, all we really have to do is work from left to right. So that's what we're going to do here. And I'm going to actually move up here, kind of finish up this problem in the blank space we have in the paper. So the first thing I'm going to want to do is go ahead and get a common denominator again. So out of 8, 4, and 2, our common denominator is going to be 8. So we are still going to have 1/8 plus 9/4. Now we want to get a common denominator of 8. we know that we have to multiply 4 times 2 in order to do that. Whatever we do to the denominator, we must do the numerator. So we are going to multiply 9/4 by 2 over 2. And then we have minus 5 over 2. Once again, we need a common denominator of 8. In order to do that, in order to get that, we have to multiply this denominator 2 by 4. Whatever we do to the denominator, we must do to the numerator. So we're going to multiply negative 5/2 times 4 over 4. Now we have 1/8 plus 4 times 2 is 8, and 9 times 2 is 18, minus 4 times 2 is 8, and 5 times 4 is 20. Okay, so now we have common denominators, and now all we have to do is add and subtract the numerators. So we have 1 plus 18 is 19, minus 20 is going to give us negative 1. Our common denominator is 8, and so our final answer is negative 1/8.